We are looking at Bitcoin on the daily. Okay. I want to show you a few things I'm looking at, just a little update from the last video. Um, Pretty solid rally here. So let me just jump into some of the technical analysis that I'm looking at. So for Bitcoin right now, we're looking at the log scale daily chart. Clearly, we want to take a trend line from the bottom here into this little point of support at that 100K level, right? And we're going to extend that out so we can kind of forecast the trend for Bitcoin for the next couple of days, at least the trend that we need to hold on to, right? Because if we break this trend, then what it's going to mean is we're probably going to flip bearish. Similar to this example over here, where you can see this was a downtrend, right? This was a clear downtrend that we broke out of and started the next bull market. So that's why we can clearly see that there is a new bullish trend here. All right, so that's the first thing I look at on the daily. Second thing is I want to get some Fibonacci's on here because I want to figure out where this price action is going to get resistance and support, right? It looks like it's pretty much in no man's land right now. But if I take the top here with the Fibonacci down to the bottom here, what it's going to do is it's going to send out these extension levels, these 127, 141, 161. And you can clearly see that once we were able to break above this 100% mark, we pushed up within 1 day into that 127 extension. And then it took a couple days, 3 or 4 more days, to get up into that 161, which inevitably sold us off, right? Had huge resistance. And I'm going to change the color of this fib to yellow. Okay. So now on the daily, we can see already we've had 1, 2, 3 days in these extension levels, right? So you can pretty clearly see that it's getting a reaction. So now let's zoom into the 4 hour and we're going to drill into this price action. We're going to see what's going on here. So guys, the move that I predicted in my last video, July 14th, I believe it was, we were saying that, hey, you know what? This is a huge move. It came up to 118K. We saw this resistance starting to show, and then momentum on the 1 hour was starting to indicate that we were probably going to actually push up higher into the 161, which we did pretty enthusiastically. And then what we see here is now the 161 rejection coming back down into the 127, right? And then back up into the 141. And now we're kind of pushing up higher. And it looks like we want to get back up into the 161. So let's go and zoom in on the 1 hour and let's see what this looks like. Okay, so we see now the trend line that we drew on the daily. Let's make this actually a different color. Let's make this more of a blue. So really, really solid price action, guys, at this 141 and this 127. Look at this. Unbelievable. We come down into the 127, pump up into the 141, instant rejection, huge bearish candle there on the 1 hour. But look at that 127 holding as support, right? Holding as support and pushing higher. We initially hit this 141 again, tried to sell off, came back through, right? Came back down in as support. And now we're looking to move higher as well, going to target that 161. It's just looking too tempting. And, maybe we do need to come back down to the 141, but I think this bullish move is still intact. And I think ultimately, once we can clear this 161 Fib extension, I think it could be off to the races here for Bitcoin with targets like 138K and even higher, based on some larger time frame Fibonacci's, right? This is a pretty zoomed in Fibonacci. This is what we call like the most recent Fibonacci, right? I'm just taking this little tiny move here, this little sell off here, and we're looking at these extension levels. So that makes sense why we're rallying up here, but you also want to keep in mind that there is a bigger fib way back here. You can take this top down into this bottom, and we'll make this a bit of a different color here. Let's make it teal. That's nice. All right. And we know that, once Bitcoin came back, tested the 78.6, which I'll just get rid of this now, you can see, again, solid Fibonacci action, price action, right? You can see the 141 now and the 127 battling it out. See this? So, that's the way Fibonacci's kind of work because of the fractal nature of the Fibonacci mathematical sequence. You will see like a 127 line up with a 141 on the smaller moves, right? So if I take now again the move that we were just looking at down to the top, down to the bottom here, we can see some confluence, right? 127s lining up with 141s, 141s lining up with 161s. So that's what I talk about when I say confluence on these Fibonacci's. They really give us good indications of where the price action is going to get rejected, especially when we're in these new territories and we're kind of exploring new all-time highs in these price discoveries. So right now, really solid price action, 141 rejection, 127 support, and we're looking like we can probably start to target. There's the 135. But now I wanted to show you there's the 130 on the 161. That's going to be a huge level as well. So watch out for that. 130K to 135K, big resistance. But ultimately, if we get a good response off this 161, I think that we can probably get to this 261 towards the end of the market cycle. I think probably in around Q3 or Q4. All right, so that's what the Fibonacci's are telling me. But again, if we cannot hold onto this trend line, right? So now we can kind of zoom out. If we cannot hold onto this blue trend line, right? So let's extend this out as a forecast. And let's say if we get there, right, to the 261, we have to do it on this trend. So let's zoom back out onto the daily. And let's see if that's even possible. I want to see if my Q3 Q4 exit time is in alignment with this current trend getting up to the price target that I think we should ultimately get to. So let's see, we'll extend that out. So it gets to November of 2025. See that? So if we got up to the 180K mark, right? USD 180K for Bitcoin, that would make sense as long as we hold on to this trend. And I think maybe once we get into November, December, I think that'd be a nice time to break this trend and hopefully get that bear market cycle kicked off for 2026. But for now, this looks pretty good. I do like to see this price action showing respect to the Fibonacci's at the extension levels. Really, really solid move for Bitcoin. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.